guys, what is up? It's your girl Joshelle and welcome back to my channel. Today we are actually doing something a little bit different where I am doing a YouTube podcast episode of my podcast, Getting Back to Her. This has been a long time coming. I started off podcasting a couple of years ago and I'm happy to just finally get back to it. This podcast will definitely be a lot of my own personal experiences and just personal stories of struggles and growth and self love, just hopefully things that can also inspire you. If you guys are tuning into the podcast, but you're not a part of my YouTube channel, definitely subscribe because I do a lot of other content on self care, self love, and also personal growth as well. But yeah, I was really inspired to share this story of pivoting and how pivoting can be a really, really good thing in your life. Just a little bit of context behind what I'm talking about today. A few years ago, actually quite a few years ago, when I was getting my master's back in 2010, I had enrolled to get my master's of human services with a clinical concentration. And at that time, in my mind, I wanted to become a therapist. But I was also kind of like dealing with these conflicts of wanting to leave Connecticut and move away. And I ended up moving down to Atlanta, Georgia. And although I did complete my master's degree prior to me moving down to Atlanta, Georgia, once I moved there, unfortunately, my credentials didn't really transfer over, and I would have had to start basically a whole new human services or master's program. And when you've already gone through a lengthy process of doing your master's, you're not necessarily looking to do that again. So I just kind of went more in the direction of social work. But fast forward to today, 2025. Last year, I ended up reconnecting with a good childhood friend who she has her LCSW and she has her own private practice and does a lot of counseling services for like youth and adults. And we were meeting up and just having a conversation. Of course, we were just talking about our careers and the next steps of things that we're trying to accomplish for 2025. And in the conversation, she asked me what my master's was in, and I said it was in human services. And she was like, "You never thought about, going and getting your licensure now that you're back in Connecticut?" And it's crazy because I had been back in Connecticut since 2022 and nothing clicked for me to go ahead and get my master's. I don't know why, but I just wasn't thinking about it. And once we had that conversation, it starts to kind of get the wheels turning that maybe this is the right time in my life for me to go back and pursue my licensure, because this is what I wanted to do anyway. And after working so many years in the field as a social worker and having also gone through my own personal experiences needing therapy, and even more so when my mom passed, grief counseling, it just made sense. So I started doing research and looking into the licensure and the requirements, because obviously a lot has changed from 2010 to now 2025. And I found out that I had to still go back to school to get some more schooling because of the changes that had happened. So I ended up inquiring, and I'm happy to say that I am officially enrolled in school to get my LPC, so that way I can become a therapist. And I'm so excited about this because even in my current role in my job now, I feel like that's what I do a lot. I counsel, the population that I work with. And being a social worker for so many years, I've worked with so many different populations. I work with kids, I work with adults, I work with those who have mental health, disorders, and also those who had intellectual disabilities. And it just feels right now in this time of my life to just pivot my career and basically go back to what I was trying to do originally. And I wanted to share that with you just because sometimes we kind of get stuck in these careers or places in our life, and sometimes you just need to pivot, and you might have, I don't know, some type of inspiration or some type of connection or even purpose to pursue something different. And I feel like life is so incredibly short, and you have to make sure that you're constantly changing with the times. Like, as we grow and as we evolve as human beings, sometimes our interests in things grow as well. And I know for me, I've definitely went through so many phases of things in my life, especially with, moving to Georgia and living in Tennessee and coming back to Connecticut where I was born and raised. Having a business where I was selling skincare products. I used to also have a blog at one point and another. It's just that I don't know, have these seasons in my life where I want to change and grow and pivot. And I'm so excited on this path, even though it is a lot of work and I do have quite a bit of schooling that I have to get through. I am very encouraged and motivated, especially even as still, a young mom, a full-time parent. I'm doing this at a time where my daughter is old enough to understand what is going on and just be that motivational, encouraging spirit for me. And I'm blessed to also have such a positive village around me and people that rally for me and support me to be able to, um, you know, just pursue things in my life. So I say all this just to say it's never too late to pivot. It's never too late to change and go in a different direction. If nothing else you take away from this episode and my own personal share story is to make sure that you go after all the things that you want in life, because it's incredibly short and we all are given gifts and talents. I always heard this quote that said, God gives us gifts, but our purpose is how we use our gifts to help inspire others. And that's definitely something that I want to do today. So I know that it's scary sometimes, and you're kind of sometimes unsure of how this is going to be, because I feel that way too. I'm like, geez, do I even have it in me to go back to school? Do I have it in me to stay up late and do papers and different things? And I'm happy to say I do. I have been doing that. I actually enrolled back in school January 6th of 2025. So I've been in school for a few weeks now, and it definitely was an adjustment and still is an adjustment, but it is a welcome challenge and adjustment. And I'm just happy that I'm learning so many things. I'm connecting with so many other people. And I think realistically, this was the better time for me to go back for my licensure, just because I did have some previous experience of being a social worker that helped me navigate, maybe the population and things of what I want to do when it's time for me to actually become a therapist. So I look forward to sharing more about this experience and things that I'm learning. I heard that when you decide to go back to school, especially to be a counselor, you're almost going through a real life healing experience for yourself too. So I know there's going to be a lot of things that I'm going to be discussing and learning about and unpacking. So I figure this would be the perfect time for me to discuss this on my podcast and YouTube channel, just to help inspire you in case you also are looking to become a therapist or looking to go back to school or just looking to change your career and grow. But I hope that you guys enjoy this. Continue to subscribe to both my YouTube channel and my podcast, and also follow me on IG and TikTok if you're already up there. I would love to just continue to have you guys a part of my journey and just helping you wherever I can. But I hope you guys have a blessed day and talk to you soon. Bye.